Hello everyone, my presentation is about racism. First, I'm going to tell about what is racism and when did racism begin. Then I'm gonna talk about racism earlier and racism now. And at last, I'm gonna tell about what can you do against racism. Racism isn't easy to explain because there are a lot of forms of racism. You could say racism is about a person who thinks he's better than others. Racists choose their own group based on physical group, religion, origin, skin color, and social class. And if you're not part of their group, they mistreat you and discriminate you. They have a lot of prejudices, like when you're a girl, you cannot be good in soccer and all Moroccans are terrorists. They have no right to say those things because you must know someone before you can say those things out loud. The racism that we know began in the end of the 19th, begin 20th century when white people had a lot of power and they covered most of the world, had a lot of colonies, and were very rich. And when they realized they had so much power, they abused their power to discriminate black people. Black people had to do so much terrible things. This was also the start of the slavery and colonialism. Earlier there also was racism. In the 14th century, white people discovered new areas. The people who lived there were seen as uncivilized. So, white people had an excuse to suppress them. Between the 15th and 19th century, there was slavery. White people saw black people as inferior. You could have a slave as your property to do things you don't want to do yourself. They were mistreated. The Aboriginals from Australia is another example. They were switched off the reservoirs or murdered in the 16th century. Same happened in America with Native Americans. Another example of racism is Hitler in World War II. He let millions of Jews be shot or gasified because he wanted a world only with Germans. These days, thoughts about racism has been changed. Now there are less problems about marriages between black and white people. Nowadays, there is more racism against gay people, former criminals, and political offenders. Still, a lot of black people feel they live in a world with racism. When someone in your environment is making racist remarks, you should protest and tell them they are wrong. It isn't easy to say someone is wrong, but you can help so many people by doing that. For example, when you had one bad experience with an Indian person, it doesn't mean every Indian person is a bad person. And that's the fault many people make, judging someone about his origin, religion, or skin color. Everyone has their own habits, needs, and religions, and you should accept that. Because if you respect someone and they respect you, then everyone can live with each other without problems. This was my presentation about racism. Are there any questions?
Why did you choose racism as your subject?
Nowadays, with the speech about more and less people from Morocco, I thought it's a very interesting subject to talk about for my presentation.